Welcome to another edition of The Way I See It with your host, Ralph Williams. And now, without further ado, Ralph Williams.
And good evening and welcome to another edition of The Way I See It. I am Ralph Williams. It's great to be here with you tonight here in the DJ Fun Studios in Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh. And I got to tell you what, it is one heck of a great evening out here tonight. I mean, I know it's raining and all, but you know what? It's great to be indoors here and watching my program here tonight. So we're going to start off with our Chinese wisdom. It says, a kind word warms for 3 winters. So there you go. A kind word warms for 3 winters. And that is tonight's Chinese wisdom right here on The Way I See It with myself, Ralph Williams. Call DJ Fun today, 412-545-4317, if you are in need of a DJ for any kind of an event, whether it would be a party, wedding, or a special event. Call DJ Fun today at 412-545-4317. All right, you want the best in freezer beef? Where is the beef? I'll tell you where it's at. It's in Richmond, Ohio, at the Hillcrest Farm. Call Hillcrest Farm today because I tell you what, they have some great beef deals here. Look at this package deal. Variety box, $195. 4 pounds of burgers, 10 pounds of ground beef, 4 packs of filet mignon, 2 roasts and 10 steaks. Roast box, $200. 7 roasts and 30 pounds of ground beef. Ground beef box, this is your best deal right here. All right. This is exactly what I'm saying right here. The ground beef box, $95, and you have 20 pounds of ground beef for $95. All right. So there you are. Hillcrest Farm. Call them today at the farm. I'll tell you what, they have 2 phone numbers. You can call them at 740-346-5442 or 740-632-2894. Also email them at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com and check out their website, www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com, and also on Facebook as well. Hillcrest Farms, call them today. All right. Today we have our blast segment coming up right now. We're going to talk about the Mount Pleasant area school district, the janitor or the guy, the custodian, somebody who works at Mount Pleasant area school district decided that they're going to have sex with some students. All right. When is this going to stop? All right. It just so happens that it happens to become a situation where all these people, all of a sudden, these teachers, these aides, these janitors, whatever they are, decide that they're going to do this. All right. And it gets out of control. It really does. And now it's hit the Mount Pleasant area school district with this. I'm blasting you tonight for doing this to these kids. That's unacceptable. This guy's been fired. I'm glad to hear that. Charges have been filed. I'm glad to hear that as well. That is the way I see it tonight. All right. The person at the Monroeville Personal Care Home who neglected a patient. You know, again, this is one thing I cannot tolerate. I cannot tolerate somebody who decides that they are going to neglect a patient that is in their care at a personal care home. All right, you shouldn't do stuff like that. That's unacceptable. All right, and that's why I'm blasting you tonight here on The Way I See It. That is the way I see it. All right, the woman from Baldwin who starved her dog. Now we're going into pets now. Now we're starting to starve pets. We starve human beings. We mistreat people, and now we're mistreating pets. And you know what? This is an old story. People do this all the time. There are people out there that continue to do this, and they consistently, and I'm talking about consistently, all right, torture pets by starving them, keeping them out in the cold, doing all kinds of crazy stuff to people. That's unacceptable. That is the way I see it tonight. That's why I'm blasting this lady tonight. All right, the people in Bridgeville. All right, look, you complained when 79 was going to become a toll road. Then you complained after 79 was going to become a toll road. Then you go and you complain about the fact that now you have a bridge closed. Oh, we got all these cars coming up the main drag. Oh, it's going to call everything up. Have any of you business people in Bridgeville ever took a look in the mirror and said, I need business? With the economy today, I need business. With inflation today, with lazy people out here today, I need business. Okay? So your business is to make money. And if you're not in business to make money, why are you in business? But you complain. All you do is complain. You complain every time about too many cars coming through Bridgeville. So now that they're fixing the Short Tiers Bridge, everybody's coming through Bridgeville. All right? So now you're complaining about too much traffic yet again. All right? When are you going to stop complaining? If I'm coming through Bridgeville and I see your business and I'm not aware of your business, guess what I'm doing? I'm coming to your business, right? Well, no, you don't want nobody to come to your business. That's the way I see it tonight. I think that's the way you're looking at it too. All right. I am going to blast University of Duquesne tonight. And you know what? The reason why I'm blasting Duquesne University's administration is for what they are doing to their police department. It is really sad that their police department has to go on strike in order to get their attention. It's really terrible. It's bad out there. It's so bad that they're on strike right now. All right? And then once again, Duquesne, of course, you know, everybody always has to try to make themselves look good. They're going to come out and they're going to say, oh, well, we negotiated this and we gave them that. Well, why is the union saying that's not the case? And, you know, I'm really surprised at Duquesne University, being that this is a Christian university. And this is what they're doing to their police. Christian University. And this is what they're doing. Tell me if you're an alum for Duquesne. Tell me if you're somebody who works at Duquesne right now. Tell me if you're a student at Duquesne. Is this acceptable to you? Because it's not to me. That tonight is the way I see it. All right, that's our blast segment. Bonehead segment coming up here. The four guys who were kicked off of they were causing problems and they were kicked off of an airplane flight because they were causing problems. You know, we get this all the time. There's a bunch of people who simply just don't understand that you can't cause problems on an airplane. But these guys, they did. They caused problems. They got kicked off of an airplane flight. That's really sad to hear that they would do something like that. But that's the way it is right now. All right. Okay. Next, the Colombian politician, all right, who was caught running around naked in a nightclub. Wow, that's a boneheaded move of whatever proportion. Wow, that's a shame. The intoxicated person who was walking around the airport got kicked out of the airport because you know why? He was running around intoxicated, causing problems. That tonight is our Bonehead segment, and you know we have them all the time. You know how that can be. So we have that goes on all the time right here. And you're watching The Way I See It here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. And tonight we have some wise guys out here. So I'm not going to go into what they're saying. So there we are, you know. But anyway, yep, that's it. DeMarcus Russell works at Duquesne and thinks what they're doing is cool. Okay. We have big DeMarcus Russell fans out here who was a bum as a quarterback and he was terrible. And, you know, so we got these fans that all of a sudden they want to call or, you know, they want to put through things in my show here and all that. So who knows, you know, I didn't even realize he still had fans. That's as simple as that. But anyway, all right, let's get into my life story tonight. I had to take my dog to the vet this past week. I had some issues. I had to take him to the vet. And I took my mom this week to the Metro store. Why? Because her phone doesn't work. Why? Because Metro's junk. Why? Because it's owned by T-Mobile and it's their junky part of things. That's unbelievable. Mike is special. They're here. Says special bonehead to the part ownership for not producing a good team. I got something for you, Mike, later on. Continue watching because one of our key topics tonight is the fact that I blasted Bob Nutting last week, Mike, right on this program. Okay? about what he was doing to his ushers. And now where do you find out how much he wants to give the contract to the ushers? How much of a raise he wants to give these ushers and these service people who work at PNC Park? That's exactly what he wants to give his players. It's really sad. All right, we'll talk about that later. And she goes to the Metro store, and you go to some of these Metro stores, and they have no idea what they're talking about. And you get a guy who maybe was from some other company or whatever, and or some other country or something, and he don't speak any English, and all of a sudden you go in there and he has no idea how to fix your phone. Okay? This is the example of why I don't have Metro and I don't have Cricket. This is the exact reason why. And I know what you're telling me. Oh, well, Metro's owned now by T-Mobile and everything else. Yeah, they are owned by T-Mobile. When I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, my mom was with me in Raleigh. We had to go down to attend to some family matters a few years back. Her phone worked down there. I have to give Metro credit since T-Mobile has actually took them over. They owned them, but they were on their own sites, their own towers, their own employees. They had everything on their own. All of a sudden, T-Mobile comes in. They decided to actually take everything over on their own. All right, we got one here from Madeline Jean that says, Bob Nutting is a joke. Yes, indeed, we know all about Bob Nutting. Bob Nutting is a big-time joke, and we know that. All right, so anyway, that happened, and I was supposedly supposed to go to the Pittsburgh game on Saturday. I did not go because I had some other matters to attend to as well. But other than that, that was my life story for this week. I had to take my mom to the Metro store. I had to take the dog to the vet. Other than that, not a whole lot going on in my life this week. So, but anyway. All right, let's get into our key topics this week. And I tell you what, I have a ton of key topics. All right. And while we're talking about Bob Nutting, let's talk about exactly what is going on with him right now. All right, his ushers, the ushers who work at PNC Park, they work for the Pirates. I know what this is all about. I worked at Heinz Field. I was an usher there. I recently had to retire from security there. I was working for a private company doing security at Heinz Field, which is now called Heinz Field at Acrisure Stadium. Okay? So what had happened was, it turns out that, and I've been involved in this too. In my lifetime, I've been involved in 5 different unions. So here we are, Bob Nutting and the union for the workers who are ushers and who work at Heinz Field, okay? Or at PNC Park, I'm sorry. Decided now they're going to go on strike. First, Bob Nutting didn't even want to talk to him. Then he decides to talk to him and try to negotiate. Guess what he offers him? $0.25 an hour raise. $0.25 an hour. Here's a guy who makes a ton of money on his baseball team because he doesn't pay to bring players in here, and he treats it like a business instead of a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay? He has never had a good baseball team because he refuses to spend money. He has the right business model. Everybody complains, well, Bob Nutting this, Bob. He has the right business model. He's making money for himself. But he doesn't care about the citizens of Pittsburgh. He doesn't care about this city, and he doesn't care about anything. Last week, I said this on my show, on this program last week. If you want to go to PNC Park and pay for a Pirate game, you go. But I don't want to hear no complaining when Bob Nutting doesn't do this and Bob Nutting doesn't do that and Bob Nutting this and Bob Nutting that. Okay? Because you're the one that's going to the ball game. You're the one that's paying the price to go see these guys play. All right? So there you are. Okay? Bob Nutting is being cheap again. And you know what's interesting? We haven't heard from Bob Nutting in about 3 years. Now, all of a sudden, he decides to show up this year because he spent some money on players. And he goes, oh, once again, here we are. The Pirates have the best team in the world, and we have a team to go to the championship. That's Bob Nutting for you. And you keep going to the Pirate games. You keep supporting this guy. Oh, well, PNC Park is such a great place to go watch a baseball game. Yeah, it is, if you want to watch a losing team. It's pretty sad that when New York Yankees come here, Chicago Cubs come here, the Chicago White Sox, and everybody else that comes here brings a whole bunch of fans to fill up our ballpark that we can't fill because of this guy. All right? Mark Cuban tried twice. Twice he tried to call Bob Nutting and say, I'll give you double for your team. You know what Nutting said? My team, the Pirates, are not for sale. All right? This is an owner who refuses to look at reality. This is an owner who was investigated by Major League Baseball because he was taking money from the revenue sharing and not putting it where it's supposed to be into his players and his team. Okay? Instead, he decided to start up a facility in Puerto Rico. Nothing wrong with that. Puerto Rico has some great ball players. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But at least let's try to win some games. Let's at least bring in some players. You have the money, Bob. Quit acting cheap. Quit being cheap. Now you want to screw the ushers? And you want to give them a quarter raise? And then, oh, we're going on strike. And then, you know what PNC Park and the Pirates are going to do? We sat down and we offered them the greatest contract in the whole world, and they turned it down. They're going to say the same thing that Duquesne's saying to the police at Duquesne University. And it bothers me to no end, and it should bother you. It should bother you as someone who works at PNC Park or someone who works at Heinz Field at Acrisure Stadium. It should be anybody that works at any kind of job like that. It's a disgrace. I worked at Heinz Field. They had a union contract. You know what we got? I'm going to tell you exactly what we got. Quarter, nickel per hour. They gave us a lousy $10 a month food voucher. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? All right? And this is what Bob Nutting does. All right? This is what the Roonies do. And if you think the Roonies are any good, look at this now. Quarter, nickel. And then I go to the union president, and I say to him that he's weak. And you know what he says to me? Well, I'm not weak. I said, yes, you are. Because you're weak enough that why would you even negotiate a contract like that? I charge $200. I don't know what it is now because I haven't worked at Heinz Field in 10 years or more. Okay? But when I worked there, they were charging us $200 for a season to park your car. And then you had to park all the way down by the Cardello building, and then you had to take a shuttle bus to get up to Heinz Field. All right? Everything's a charge. Everything is this and that, and they act like we make $1 million and we don't. You charge so much for food, beverages, and drinks and everything in that place that nobody has extra money to give a tip to tip the usher. All right? Everybody's so busy worried about buying booze and beer and everything else at Heinz Field that they don't care whether or not, they tip the usher. You know, when you work in a service job, and I've been in the service industry for 35 years. I'm talking about customer service industry. That's what I'm talking about. 35 years. My wife was in it for 32. Between the two of us, we have almost 80 years of combined experience. Tips are no guarantee. All right? That's as simple as that. Tips are no guarantee. So what is PNC Park and what are the Pirates thinking? That's exactly what they think. They probably think that every game, every usher makes $1,000 in tips, that we're going to give you a quarter raise. Oh, I know why Bob Nutting's doing it. Because the players he has now, he has to pay. That's why. So what's he going to do? The ushers are just simply going to go, oh, well, yeah, we'll take your little quarter raise, but, nobody comes to the ball game. Tomorrow night on Sports Corner, I have something that's rather disturbing to you. And it should be. And it's not your fault. Well, actually, it is your fault because you're stupid enough to go to the game and pay for it. I refuse to go to a game at PNC Park unless somebody pays for it. Why should I spend money out of my pocket to go to a game, to a team that's unsatisfactory? All right? The Tampa Bay Rays, they are a great team right now. They've lost one game the entire year. Okay? I don't know how many more they're going to lose. All right? But right now they're doing well, and they have done well. They've won the World Series. Or they've gone to the World Series. Okay? All right? So with that, the Rays don't even draw 15,000 fans if they're lucky per game. People don't even go to the games. And their field looks like an airplane hangar. I've seen it. It's a monstrosity. And now they want a new place, a new stadium, and they want it in St. Petersburg, not in Tampa. They're fighting down there over this situation with this new field. But in the meantime, they have the field with the retractable roof that looks like an airplane hangar, but they only draw 13,000 to 15,000 fans per game. The Oakland A's sent a message to their owner. He's a billionaire. How do I know this? I have friends. Okay? Bill Williams says, you mean monstrosity? Yeah, that's right, a monstrosity. That's exactly what it is. Thank you, Bill. But anyway, all right, down in Oakland, they sent a message to that owner. We're not going to the games. He wanted to squeeze money out of the taxpayers. Oakland, California is a poor community. It's a poor town. They've turned it down many times. Taxpayers are not paying for a new ballpark. That's why the Raiders left for Las Vegas. The Oakland A's are about to do the same thing. So this guy's a billionaire 3 or 4 times over. They told him, pay for your own stadium. All right? They tried to build a ballpark in Oakland. The spot where they wanted to build it, it's not happening. Okay? Then they try to slide, like we did here in Pittsburgh back in the 90s, a tax or some kind of legislation through to build the new ballpark, and it got turned down again. The people of Oakland are not going to pay for a ballpark for a guy who's a billionaire 4 times over, who could probably buy the Pirates, build himself a new stadium, and buy a bunch of ball players and make the Oakland A's great and still have a lot of money. That's how rich this guy is that owns the Oakland Athletics. And now Las Vegas is willing to spend money, because Las Vegas has a lot of money, to build a ballpark for this guy. And that's why the Oakland Athletics are moving to Las Vegas. And now they're going to have a baseball team. Tomorrow night, Sports Corner, myself, Smoking Jim Frazier, our guests, Matt Venzel and Tad Morey. Matt Venzel's we're going to discuss about the Penguins and what happened with this firing of Ron Hextall and Brian Burke. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. And I got a statistic for you about the Pirates you're going to want to hear. And Bob Nutting did it to himself. The Rad Board, Regional Asset District, you don't know who they are. They have a tax that they put on your tickets, which has been on the tickets for a while since the new ballpark was built. Well, Bob Nutting went crying to the Rad Board. He needed money to to upgrade the facilities or upgrade everything at some things at PNC Park. So what he decided to do was, okay, I'm going to go do that. All right. And he goes and he says something to the rad board. And the rad board told him, okay, fine, we'll give you the money, but we're going to put $1 excise tax on tickets this year until the loan is paid off that we're going to give you. But we're not just going to hand you the money because of the way you conduct yourself with your team. Now, that's the rad board stepping up. And that needs to happen more now that this union with these ushers need and are going to step up and say, Bob Nutting, we're not going to take your quarter an hour raise. And Bob Nutting, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear you on TV go, well, we offered them a contract that we think is fair. A quarter an hour is not fair, Bob. It's that simple. That's the way I see it tonight about Bob Nutting, the Pirates, and these ushers. All right. Visit Pittsburgh is in the doghouse with the county controller, Corey O'Connor. Why? Well, it's real simple. Visit Pittsburgh doesn't know how to work their books. They don't know how to, they're managing money wrong. Corey O'Connor did an audit, and he asked them questions about where this money's going, where that money's going. And the public has a right to know. And that's one of the reasons why Corey O'Connor decided to become county controller. All right. He was sworn into the job. He was elected the temporary term, and he's running for a full-scale term. All right. Because Chelsea Wagner, who was our former county controller, decided to become a judge, and she got voted in as a judge. All right. So Corey O'Connor, who's the son of late Mayor Bob O'Connor, who I thought was one of the best mayors we ever had in the short time he was around. I wish he was here now because what's going on in the city would not be going on. And you know my stance on the city of Pittsburgh right now. Okay? That's what's going on. Visit Pittsburgh is sitting there going, whoa, well, you're picking on us. No, we're not picking on you. I know you're an organization that brings in conventions, brings people into Pittsburgh. That's why it's called Visit Pittsburgh, so people can visit. So they go to this website and they get on Visit Pittsburgh and they tell you what hotels to book or where to go or what to do in Pittsburgh. That's what the purpose of it is. Okay? But they have certain funds that were given to them by the county and the city. And they misused those funds. And Corey O'Connor caught them. So now Visit Pittsburgh is going to sit there and they're going to cry and they're going to go on and on about how poor Corey O'Connor, he's picking on him and it's political. No, it's not political, Visit Pittsburgh. Do you know Corey O'Connor? Like I do? Because I worked for his dad. And I know Corey very well. Why? Because I'm a friend of the Vento family, who happens to be friends with the O'Connor family. So there you go. All right? And I know Corey wouldn't do this for any political reason. I know what you're saying. He was friends with Bill Peduto. Yes, he was. Okay? And I don't want to talk no more about Bill Peduto, about what his drunken game that he did last week or so ago at Cappy's Bar. I talked about that last show. All right. And then he has the audacity to walk his dog past the bar in the morning. I'm surprised he got up in the morning after he got into that fight. He was drunk. It's amazing how people who drink aggressively can recover that soon and be able to just walk right past Cappy's Bar with his dog. Amazing, isn't it? So Corey O'Connor hauled Visit Pittsburgh to the carpet. And guess what? They're in trouble for misappropriating funds. And now they're saying that he's picking up Corey O'Connor. Of all people, you would accuse Corey O'Connor of picking on this organization for political reasons. What does Corey O'Connor stand to gain to pick on Visit Pittsburgh? All right. You want the best freezer beef? You want the best steaks? You want it fresh? You want it from a farm? Well, here, I got something for you. Why don't you visit Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio? That's right, Hillcrest Farm. Richmond, Ohio is right up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. It's about a 30 to a 45-minute drive from Pittsburgh. You want farm fresh beef? $95 for 20 pounds of ground beef. You can't get that anywhere but at the Hillcrest Farm. Okay? So call them today. 740-346-5442 for 740-632-2894. They have an email address of hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com, and their website is www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com, and they're also on Facebook, Hillcrest Farm. Richmond, Ohio. Take a drive out there. Take your family, take your kids out there. Take a nice little drive out to the farm. Pick up some of the farm fresh ground beef. $95, 20 pounds of ground beef. And it's fresh. It doesn't have chemicals in it. It doesn't have all that stuff that they put in the ground beef you find in the store. Steaks, roast beef, all kinds of different beef types of stuff here. They have package deals that I talked about earlier in the show. All right. Ranger steak. They have flank steak, filet mignon, brisket, tip roast, rump roast, chuck roast, hamburger patties, ground beef, sirloin steak. They're the place for the beef. Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio. Call them today, 740-346-5442 or 740-632-2894. Everything's on the bottom here on the ticker take here on the program. So make sure you write the numbers down. Take a trip out there. When you call them, they'll give you directions. Pop it up in your GPS. Take a little stroll. It's real nice. It really is nice out there. I've been to the place. And I grabbed one of their ground beef package deals. That's right, $95, 20 pounds of ground beef, fresh. Visit Hillcrest Farm today. All right, next, the UPMC in the city. Now, the city says the UPMC hasn't paid their fair share. Now, I had this discussion and this argument with a couple fellow media personalities that I know in town here, okay, who say, which is true, okay, the UPMC does a lot for charity. That UPMC does a lot for the city. That UPMC is one of the largest employers in this county. Yes, they are. They are in fact, I believe they are the largest employer here. But I have a problem with UPMC. They claim they're a nonprofit. And the city for years has let them get away with it. And so has the county. I blame that on Rich Fitzgerald. He's been through his third term as our county executive. All right? So therefore, since he's been the county executive for 3 terms, don't you think that's his fault? Yes. We had a mayor who was too busy worrying about going to China instead of staying here and taking care of his city and drinking at Cappy's bar and lying to everybody. All right? Didn't think nothing of it. You know, it's one thing if you're a nonprofit, but act like a nonprofit. Act like one. Okay? Act. Act like a nonprofit. You know, you have to know how to behave like a certain nonprofit. UPMC does not. Okay? They have great facilities, great hospitals. I have their insurance, great doctors. They've done a lot for the city, which is where myself and these other media types in this town have this argument. All right? And I don't blame the city for being angry with them. I don't. They need to pay their fair share just like everybody else and not get a free ride. All right? It's not fair. But we got to let them slide because they do this and they're number one in job creation and they do that. Oh, they might leave. They're not going no place. Trust me when I tell you that. Okay? Go figure out some other way of paying whatever because of their nonprofit status. But they make a profit. And they do not know how to behave like a nonprofit. I don't think UPMC, for what they do, should be a nonprofit. That's the way I see it tonight. All right, next. Kennywood's opening on time. D.A. Stephen Zapala, okay, and I like this thing that he has to say, feels that the security upgrades at the park at the time that he issued the report were not proper. Well, it turns out now that Stephen Zapala has sent out the Pennsylvania State Police and some big-time security specialists. And these people went to Kennywood, walked around with Jim Brewster or whoever, and all these politicians, some of the ones who were against him closing up Kennywood. Okay? What's the difference? You're going to take your kid to Cedar Point or Disney World. I can't get you to take your kid to Canton to see the Football Hall of Fame and support the Pittsburgh Maulers. So why would you take your kid to Kennywood? When you downgraded me and got angry with me because I made a suggestion about a nice trip idea that'll save you gas and time by taking your kids to the NFL Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and then you pay $10 to catch a Maulers game per ticket. I'll take my kid to Disney World. Well, then go. Well, why is Disney, if you're taking your kid to Disney World, why is Disney World struggling? Why is Disney laying people off? Why is Disney complaining about that they're hurting, that they're losing money? So don't tell me you're taking your kid to Disney World instead of Canton, Ohio. Yeah, you're taking your kid to Canton, Ohio. Okay? But you're going to bust my back because I'm trying to help you out. That's wonderful. Okay? But D.A. Stephen Zapala said that Kennywood should be closed up, and I don't blame him. They shouldn't open until security upgrades or meet his specifications, and guess what they did? He sent security experts from the FBI and the state police there to look it over. Things have been fixed. Cameras have been put up. Security systems look good. Kennywood's ready to open. Good. You won't see me there till the end of this year. Next summer, you'll see me there. Because I'm old enough to get a 50% off discount. Okay, but I will be there for the Pierogi Festival. Because I like that. That's what I'll be there for. Well, why should I pay full price as a handicapped person that's in a wheelchair, that doesn't ride on any rides, that only is there to play games, eat food, enjoy this, going around the park, looking at rides I can't ride on, okay? And why should I pay full price like that and then I got to pay for everything else? Why should I? Why should I do that? Okay? So here we are, Kennywood. I was there last year and went for Pierogi Fest. Other than that, you won't see me there. Until I'll be 55 this year. So I'll be able to qualify for the 50% off discount price on tickets. Then you'll see me there. Okay? All right? That's the way I see it about Kennywood. Fire at the Century 3 Mall. Wow. Century 3 Mall has fallen under a lot of problems over the years. The waterfront in Homestead put them out of business. And you know what's interesting? I said this years ago, and I was right. And I'm right now. Okay? There's only so much money out there and so much retail you can build for everybody. Why would I want to go, if I'm somebody that lives in Homestead, or if I'm somebody that lives in Squirrel Hill, or if I'm somebody that lives in the Mon Valley area, why would I want to go to Century 3 when I go to the waterfront? But the waterfront's starting to lose businesses. They lost Best Buy. They lost Dick's. They lost a bunch of stuff down there. Kaufman's department store, or Macy's or whatever, that's gone. They haven't replaced it yet. It's been sitting there for many years. And Century 3 Mall has been sitting vacant for the longest time. A Las Vegas firm took it over about 5-6 years ago. They just filed for bankruptcy not too long ago. It's tied up in bankruptcy, so the county can do absolutely nothing to them until everything's absorbed from bankruptcy. You catch what I'm saying? So now it has to sit there decrepit somewhere. Well, there was a fire there. Probably some homeless person living in there. Now, if you watch on YouTube, I watched a couple episodes of a couple of documentaries about vacant malls all across the country. And they were at Century 3, Uniontown Mall. They were in this area, and they did a sequence on some of these dead malls. What people were doing with them. Well, Century 3 have done nothing with. All right? It's that simple. All right? What I'm saying is that Century 3 Mall needs, I suggest they put an entertainment complex in there. An indoor amphitheater for shows, concerts. Maybe a miniature golf course, maybe a swimming pool, a public swimming pool, or something in there. A mall's not going to work. It's all that vacant property sitting there for nothing. Maybe make an established outdoor amphitheater that can bring people back other than what we have at Star Lake, which people have to drive 200 miles to get to, 500 hours to get out. Okay? I went a few years back for a concert, $7 for a bottle of water. It's up to $10 now, probably. Back when the last time I was there was $7 for a bottle of water. I can imagine what it is now because it's been, say a good 10 years since I've been there. It's difficult for me to go there as well. Because even though I park my car or my vehicle in the handicap spot, I still got to walk a mile to get to, or scooter a mile to get to the entrance, and then another 3 miles to get to my seat. All right. That place was never built properly, and it never has been, and it never will be. I don't go there because I would have to go rent a van to put my scooter up into the van to go there. I can't go there in my regular wheelchair. It's too much. And why? I'm not going to go rent a van when I don't need to. I could sit at home and watch concerts on YouTube. It's not to say I don't go to shows. I do. When I can afford to and when I can. I don't make it my priority anymore. All right, that's what I have to say. Next, Wednesday there was a hearing down at City Council about the spin scooters. Know them? The orange scooters that are all over the city? I don't have a problem with spin scooters, but I have a problem when you don't use them properly. I have a problem when you're in the wrong place with them. I have a big problem when you put them on handicap ramps when the handicapped people can't get up the ramps. I have a problem when you lay it on the middle of the sidewalk and no one can get around it. That's when I have a problem. Okay? That is when I have a serious problem with this. So they had a hearing on Wednesday because the pilot money ran out. This was a pilot program funded by the state. Now, the spin company, they don't want to leave here. They want to keep here. They're going to start charging now extra money to keep it here because the pilot money is done. The city had a hearing on Wednesday. I watched it on TV. I was going to participate in it. I did not. Okay, but I watched it. And you know something? I don't blame these people for being angry. I don't blame them at all. But I do agree in one perspective that it is the new norm around here for young people who can't get around because, and again, even though I'm the president of the Allegheny County Transit Council, I do agree that sometimes the bus service is inadequate. They're having trouble getting drivers. They're having trouble hiring drivers. They haven't hired back the drivers they let off from COVID. That's why PRT's having issues. So people can't rely on them anymore. They can't afford a car. They don't want to walk. So what they do is they go and get one of them scooters. And I don't blame them if you got to get to work or wherever you got to go. Okay? It's a nice thing. It's great to have. But what I have a problem with, again, is when you leave them in the middle of the sidewalk and on the handicap ramp and block up stuff. And don't put them where they're supposed to go. I've even seen them on the sidewalk in the middle of a bridge blocked up the sidewalk. I've seen them in some bad spots. That's why people don't want them here anymore. And we'll see what the city council decides to do with Spin's contract. That's the way I see it tonight. The Shell Cracker Plant. Here we are again. Everybody's complaining about Shell Cracker Plant. They wanted it there in Beaver County. They wanted it there real bad. Oh, we need that there. Oh, the job market. Oh, the businesses are hurting. Oh. And then all of a sudden now, you don't want it there now. You're upset because they're leaving out absorbent stuff that's causing pollution. I interviewed a couple folks who live in the area. One guy said he was happy with it. His property taxes actually went down because of that cracker plant. But you'll go to the county, to Beaver County, and you'll complain about how, you know what? I have to pay more in taxes. Oh, yeah. But the cracker plant's there, and it's helping your taxes go down, and it's created a bunch of jobs. But you're complaining. That's the way I see it tonight about that. Next. All right, the University of Pittsburgh, their employees, a lot of them, I'm talking about the university, I'm talking about UPMC. And we're going to get into another topic next, and there's a few of them we're not going to be able to get into. All right. Oh, actually, we might be able to squeeze them in. All right. We'll see. But anyway, let's get back to this. Some University of Pittsburgh employees who are not certified in emergency care. You know, like if they have a bomb threat like they had last week or one of those fake emergency things go off. Most of their employees don't know what to do. Yeah. So UPMC now, what they should do. Now, see, here's what bothers me about a university like Pitt and what bothers me about some of these businesses. You went and you busted everybody's back and you beat everybody up about COVID. You beat everybody up about that. You made everybody stay at home, made everybody wear masks. You couldn't come to work unless you had a mask on. You had to have hand sanitizer. You had to have dress a certain way. You had to look a certain way. But you did nothing to make sure that your employees are trained for emergencies such as a natural disaster or a bomb. I have no more to say. That's the way I see it tonight. I think you get what I'm trying to say. All right, next. The Hill District's new store, Salem's grocery store. By the fall, it'll be open. Okay? I'm going to tell you how dumb Giant Eagle is. Giant Eagle over on the south side. And the reason I know this is because I worked for the Salvation Army for a couple seasons, ringing the bell. And when Shop and Save opened up in the Hill District, one of the managers who made the stupidest mistake of his life gets on national TV or not national, but local broadcast and says, "Ooh, I'm so happy Shop and Save is opening up over in the Hill District." Got fired for that. Okay. So everybody in the Hill District, and I got friends up there too. All right. What I can't understand is why did that store up there, the Shop and Save, go out of business? Can't say it was theft because they had a little police mini station in there. They had the Pittsburgh police in there, sheriff's department, just like they used to at the old Giant Eagle Shakespeare, which is torn down now. It's going to be redeveloped into an apartment building and a small grocery store. Supposed to be putting in one of those small Giant Eagle stores, one of the mini market districts. Yeah, they're supposed to be putting one of them in there. They're going to have gas. They're going to have, it's going to be a Gecko. It's going to be like a little grocery store. And I've been to a couple of them. There's one out in Peters or in McMurray. I've been to the one out in Harmer. They're not bad. You can get your Connect card refilled there. You can buy lottery tickets, get milk, bread, eggs. It's just like a regular grocery store, but downsized. It's a Gecko and a Giant Eagle combined into a little store. Not bad. You got about four or five cashier areas there. You got fresh produce, everything that's at most Giant Eagles that they can stuff in the store. They put it there. All right. So here we are. Okay, the Hill District. Oh, we don't have a store. We have to go way over the south side to the Giant Eagle and go shopping. Well, when I was over there at the Giant Eagle, working for the Salvation Army during Christmas time, for ringing the bell for donations. Yeah, I did that a few times. Okay. Oh, we like coming over here. Why? You got a store over there. Why would you waste your time coming way over to the south side when you have a store over there? You never supported it. And then when it first opened, you complained about it because you know why? You couldn't steal. That's why you complained about it up there. So let me ask you this now, up there in the Hill District. Salim's is opening up there, and I know the Hill District has gotten better over the years, and it has. Okay? It's not as bad as it once was. So what I'm saying to you is this, and that is, are you gonna complain about Salim's being there? Oh, his food's too expensive. Why does this strip district location make money? Here's a guy that's doing something for the community, and you don't appreciate it. Just like you didn't appreciate the shop and save that was there. That's the way I see it tonight up at the Hill District. All right, let's get into this Duquesne University and the police department. Duquesne University is a Catholic a Christian university. I know a lot of key people in this town, celebrities, people that are in the media, that have gone to and have an education with Duquesne University. All right. Anyway, Duquesne University has decided now that they don't want to pay their police department. They've had 19 negotiated meetings, 19, including one on Sunday night. Sunday night they had one. And guess what they came back with? The same thing. So let me ask you this, Duquesne University, if you're supposed to be so educated, okay, we're talking about educated people here that run this university. If you're supposed to be educated, then why in the world would you think that this union would accept the same negotiation 19 times? Really? So now the Duquesne police are on strike. The Duquesne University police are on strike. The media pundits here, some of my friends, some of who are not my friends, have said that, have asked a question to the chief, what are you going to do? Well, we'll have it staffed. That's all he could say. Now, if I'm a student there, and I'm a parent of a student, or I'm somebody that works there, I'd be concerned about that. And what's interesting is Duquesne students live down in Soho, in the lower part or the upper part of downtown. And a lot of times there's some activities that go on there. Haven't lately. They've cleaned it up a lot. And Duquesne police helped the city out with those problems. So now the Duquesne police are not there to help out. So you see what I'm getting at? Here is a university that thrives themselves on being Christians. And you're going to screw your police department? Really? Is this where we're at, Duquesne University? Because I have a lot of respect for your university until now. I cannot believe what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing here. What is wrong with this picture? And please don't come on the media or on the news or anywhere and say that we gave them a really nice proposal. Well, if you gave them a nice proposal, then why are they on strike? Okay? Why are they on strike? Because you don't want to pay them. You want to cut their benefits. They have the lowest retirement pay. They want better retirement benefits. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them about benefits either. And you know what's good? What I like about all this? The unions are starting to come back now. We're starting to go on strike again. And guess what? Companies are going to start realizing they just can't overpower people anymore like this. Post-Gazette went on strike. They had enough of Alan Block. I don't even want to talk about Alan Block. I don't want to talk about Bob Nutting either, because both of them are scum for not paying their employees and thinking that people have to work for peanuts. You have workers for Starbucks coffee trying to form a union because they get treated like dogs. And guess what? They get fired. And then Starbucks gets in the doghouse. Starbucks comes on TV. And what do? We support unions. You support unions, but you fire your employees who form a union, correct? So now we have Duquesne University, a university that is well respected. And what are they doing now? They're screwing their police department. Tell me that's not interesting. Screwing their police department. The people who put their lives on the line. Yeah, Bill, I did talk about Bob Nutting at the beginning, and I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention that he's part of the scum of the earth who want to pay their employees cheap and want to screw their employees over. And now where's Duquesne fit in this category? You think I'm giving them slack? No. The people who make your university safe and the streets of Pittsburgh near the university safe for your students to be able to walk, talk, and organize and do what they do, okay, and be safe. And you're not going to pay them? You're not going to give them a raise? You're not going to give them a better health care? You're not going to give them a better retirement package? What is wrong here? 19 meetings. 19. And then Sunday night you come back with the same proposal that you came back with all the other 18 meetings. Really? Something wrong with this picture. That's the way I see it tonight. All right. One more thing, and I got a couple more. I got some small topics that I'm going to run through with you real quick. But right now, I want to talk about this guy who has a tech company or a machinist company in the Point Breeze section of the city of Pittsburgh. He wanted to buy the property that is the Homewood Coliseum. Now, the Homewood Coliseum, in case you're not aware, was used for festivities over the years, concerts, events, private parties. The mayor Peduto, even held his first couple campaign parties there. Okay? So the Homewood Coliseum is world-renowned. Jagged Edge played there. Okay? And some other key soul bands over the years that maybe have played at the Coliseum. This guy, the Coliseum's been sitting there for many years now, unused. This guy wanted to expand his business. So he wanted to buy the Coliseum in order to do so. Do you know the city told him no? So now he's taking his business and he's moving in part of it to Wilkinsburg. He has a small place in Wilkinsburg because he keeps expanding. So with expansion, he's going to keep the place that's in Wilkinsburg and Wilkinsburg. He has to move. He's moving out to Murraysville, Westmoreland County. They want him there, but the city doesn't want him at the Coliseum. No, Noel, we have a place in Pittsburgh here called the Homewood Coliseum. There you are. So anyway, he wants to buy the Homewood Coliseum or rent it out or whatever he wants to do for his business. And the city turned him down. This is why people take their business and go elsewhere. And this is another prime example of why the city of Pittsburgh right now is the city of Pittsburgh. Because they wouldn't let this guy buy the Homewood Coliseum and expand his business. So he's taking it somewhere else. Just like Wednesday, I'm going to be downtown. I'm going to go visit with some of these business owners and talk to them and find the ones that are moving out. I know a person who owns a dress shop or a clothing shop. Opened up downtown. She moved out. Why? She got a better deal somewhere in the other parts of the city. And she didn't have to put up with what goes on downtown. I don't blame her. All right? That's right. I'm going downtown on Wednesday to find out from these business owners what's going on. All right? I'm trying to get a couple on this program, and I've been unsuccessful. I was trying to reach out today to the vice president of the Union 249 for the police for Duquesne. Never got a return. Email or phone call. So it's one of those things anymore these days, everybody, and you know how it goes. That's why I'm Pittsburgh's forgotten son. Because of things like that. All right. It's the way I see it tonight. Next, let's get into some small topics before we wrap up here. All right. All right, let's see here. Meridian Restaurants, or Meridian Restaurants, who owns 114 Burger King restaurants in 9 states, is filing for bankruptcy. Once again, I don't get this. Burger King's found for bankruptcy. People who own McDonald's found for bankruptcy. People who own any kind of well-known established business that made millions and trillions and billions of dollars and are found for bankruptcy. Is this where we are with our economy today? That's real funny, Noel. Thank you. I appreciate that. Country singer Granger Smith is retiring from country music to pursue ministry. Good for him. God bless him. I hope he does well. That's the way I see it tonight with Granger Smith. Singer George Thorogood, 73 years old, has canceled all his shows. This is his 50th anniversary show tours because he has a sickness, which he is not disclosing. All right. That's the way I see it tonight. UPMC, now see, here's where the argument comes in, has donated $10 million to the Pittsburgh Promise, which helps kids in Pittsburgh public schools get to college. That's the way I see it tonight on that. Lou Pappin, owner of former Pappin's Family Restaurants and Let Us Cook for You. You're going to like it. Remember that one? Back in the 80s? He also owned some Roy Rogers restaurants, passed away this week, 92 years old last week. That's the way I see it tonight. Subway is for sale, the national chain, for $10 billion to the buyer of Krispy Kreme. The Krispy Kreme. Remember Krispy Kreme? They thought they had it all, and then they failed. Okay? All right, they shut down all their outlet stores. There aren't too many open. In fact, I think there's only 2 in this area. All right? You can get them in the store. You can get them, I don't even know if they still do school fundraisers, and I don't even know if they still do that. I don't even eat Krispy Kreme donuts. All right. But they want to buy Subway $10 billion. Subway's been hurting for a while, and you know why? Because they have to pay all these celebrities and all these ex-football players and all these guys that go on and on and on. That's why you're broke. That's why you have to sell. That's the way I see it. Flashdance 40th anniversary. Wow. 40 years of since the first of Flashdance. Can you believe that? Wow. That's the way I see it tonight. Breeze Airways has eliminated flights from New York to Los Angeles. They claim that it's too much legwork, too many employees, and they're just doing certain routes, and that's too much, so they shut that down. That's the way I see it. Spirit Airlines flight attendants agree to a new contract. That's always great to hear. Spirit's a good airline. They have cheap fares, and they're not a bad airline. All right, Hillcrest Farm, Richmond, Ohio. Grain hay beef. Don't forget to go there for beef steaks, all kinds of steak packages. Call 740-346-5442, 740-632-2894. Email at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com. And then also you can check out their website, www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com, and on Facebook. $95, 20 pounds of ground beef. You can't beat it anywhere. Give them a call for some fresh beef. 45-minute or less drive from Pittsburgh, right up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. This has been The Way I See It. I am Ralph Williams. Have a great night. Thank you, and be safe.